Over the years, I've built multiple income sources, both active and passive. And these have nothing to do with drop shipping or selling t-shirts, at least not yet. In this video today, I want to talk about these income sources, and for each one, I'll briefly explain what is needed to create that income source and also how long it takes. A very quick summary of my story. I started my first career in banking, working among others as project manager, and worked my way up to middle management. But then I decided to quit banking and I left the whole industry after 5 years with a decent amount of savings. Since then, I've never worked full-time for a company again. In fact, it's been 10 years now that I've been making money independently, and I've not been employed full-time and permanently with a company. Instead, I've been using the skills from my previous career, and I acquired new skills to create new income sources. And there are 9 that I want to talk about today. And that gave me so much freedom. So let's start. Here are my 9 income sources. Number 1 is AdSense from my Multiple Careers YouTube channel. And this is how it works. YouTube creators like me create content, and advertisers pay to place their ads in the videos. YouTube takes 45% of that revenue, while the YouTube creator gets 55% of it. The amount that YouTubers ultimately get depends on their CPM, RPM, and number of views. CPM is cost per mil. It is the amount of money that advertisers pay for every 1,000 ad impressions. But what matters to the YouTuber is the RPM, which is revenue per mil. It's the money that YouTubers get after YouTube takes their share. RPMs can be anything from a few cents to $20 depending on many factors, among others the niche of your channel and also the country of the viewer. The RPM of my channel, Multiple Careers, is currently at $5.12, which is quite good. It means that for every 1,000 ads, I receive $5. So for anyone who has watched an ad on any of my videos before, thank you so much because you've already made a contribution to this channel. This channel took me around 1.5 years of regular posting to monetize, but there are channels that only need 6 months as well as channels that need 3 years, depending on how intense you work on it. In any case, having a YouTube channel means creating assets that will continue to generate income. Part of it is passive income, meaning that the videos that I've already created continue to make money without me doing anything at all. But another part of it is active, meaning that I need to continue making new videos to constantly increase my income. If you have any specific knowledge or skills that you can teach others, then you can definitely start a YouTube channel as well. My second income stream is my other YouTube channel, which is called Living in Canada. I'll link it up here in case you want to check it out. This one got monetized within 1 year. As I applied the learnings from my first YouTube channel, I was able to grow it much faster. Creating your first channel is the toughest, but once you've managed to build one channel, you will have a lifelong skill and there is no limit to what you can create. That goes for YouTube channels as well as for blogs and podcasts. You can create assets that continue to generate semi-passive income. The third income stream is interest earnings. Before I left banking, I saved up a decent amount of money. And over the years, I put this money into high interest savings accounts as well as term deposits. In Canada, you have GICs or Guaranteed Investment Certificates, and in the US also CDs or Certificate of Deposits. The interest you can get is anywhere from 0.2% per annum to 1% and rarely above 2%, depending on the term, the length of time you leave your funds deposited. While I was still living in Indonesia, interest rates were at 10% per annum at some point, and it was enough to cover a main chunk of my expenses. But regardless of what the exact interest rate is, you will always earn more interest if you put your money into a term deposit, a GIC, or a CD, instead of leaving it in your checking account, which earns you almost nothing. And since interest compounds over time, it's great to start saving up as early as possible. The fourth income stream is dividend income from investments. Since I moved to Canada, I invested most of my income in ETFs or exchange-traded funds. While my investment grows, even though it fluctuates, the ETF pays out dividends. These are portions of the earnings that the companies that are part of the ETF make. Some ETFs pay out dividends monthly, while others pay out quarterly. With the various online platforms that exist nowadays, anyone can start an account and start investing with as little as $100 or even lower, and you can immediately start earning dividends. I also invest in some shares, and some of these are high dividend shares, meaning that they can earn 3, 4, even 6 or 7% per annum. Here's a quick disclaimer, by the way, that I'm not a personal finance or investment advisor. Everything I share is purely based on my own knowledge and experience. If you decide to invest in anything at all, make sure that you do your own thorough research and make independent decisions. Now that we got that out of the way, dividends are great because once you own an ETF or stock, you continue to generate income as long as the company doesn't go bankrupt. You can choose to withdraw these earnings or you can reinvest them. The fifth income source is coaching. As my channel started growing, I started offering a few career coaching sessions every month for people who need help with their careers on a more one-on-one basis. If you want to know more about this, you can check out my website, which I put in the descriptions below. The great thing about coaching is that any one of you who has a specific skill or experience that you can use to help other people, you can become a coach. Note, however, that this is highly active income, but the benefit is that you can decide how many hours you want to work per week and you can set your own rate, which makes it highly flexible. While jobs like psychotherapists are highly regulated, coaching is not. There are life coaches, relationship coaches, skill coaches who coach you on a specific skill, for example, business skills. And these are not regulated and no specific education is required for this. The most important thing is that you can deliver a coaching service that helps your client in a specific field. And if you can deliver on that, then that is all that matters. And depending on your expertise and the value that you can bring, you can earn anything from $50 to $500 per hour, and some even charge more than that. Before I continue, from my recent poll, I found out that while almost half of you are working full-time, many of you are also working freelance or you're working on your own business. I'd be really interested to know what other ways you have to earn money besides working full-time. So after watching this video, please also share in the comments below what your income sources are. I bet it will be useful for others reading this comment section as well. My sixth source of income is film producing. We're now getting to income sources that I tap into less frequently. One of the reasons is because they require a lot more time. In the last few years, I've been producing 2 feature films. They got into some film festivals, screened at theaters, and launched on a streaming platform. I've produced these films in Indonesia, but the concept of earning money is pretty similar all around the world. There are multiple ways a film producer can earn money, depending on the role he takes on in a specific project. One income source is the producer fee itself. From the film budget, I am paid a percentage or a fixed amount for my work as producer. In one of the films, I was also developing the story, and this is different from script writing. I was part of the team developing the story and got paid for the development stage. I am also the owner of the film IP or intellectual property, so I am entitled to a portion of any revenue that the film generates, not only during the launch of the film, but forever. The seventh income source is acting. In the past few years, I've earned some money from acting. I've acted mostly in independent films, which pay anything from a minimum wage to $500 per day. And of course, if you're a big star in a blockbuster movie, you can earn millions. But if you're an unknown actor playing a small role, you can still earn some decent money. If you just want to experience working on a set, you can even work as an extra, which is pretty easy to do, and you'll be usually paid minimum wage for 8 hours a day. And if you think that you have to be extremely good looking to be an actor, that is not true. Films need a range of different characters and different looks. I've also earned money as a voice actor. Voice acting pays very well, so if you have a good or interesting voice, this is something you could consider. In my last acting gig, I earned $1,900 in 3 hours, even though I'm a completely unknown voice actor. My eighth income source is house flipping. A few years back, I and my husband bought a house. I was in charge of doing the major renovation and oversaw 5 to 6 construction workers myself. I did everything myself, from choosing the tiles and drawing the layout and the position of the windows and so on. Then we sold the house at a relatively large profit. It's not something I do regularly, but since I did it once successfully, I know that I could do it again in the future if I wanted to. Can you do it? Certainly, but it really takes a lot of work, learning, and also the willingness to take considerable risk. My ninth income source is being a YouTube channel manager, working as an independent contractor. I recently ended my contract, but I still want to mention this as it's a very lucrative income source. If you work as an independent contractor, you are providing a company with a service for a certain time period. You are not their employee, so you don't get benefits and insurance, but the rate you are paid is usually much higher than the hourly rate that you would get as an employee for the same work. The best thing is that you can choose your own working hours, as the company cannot tell you when you have to work or how you do your work. The result was that I managed to continuously increase my productivity and efficiency until I got to the point of finishing the work of 1 week in only 5 hours per week on average, resulting in an hourly rate of $125 per hour. If you have a specific and valuable skill, then look out for this kind of work. That is, if you want to have more flexibility and freedom. Lastly, there are 2 new income streams that I'm building at the moment, which are the book that I'm writing about how to build the best career for yourself and my new podcast channel, the Multiple Careers Podcast. Check it out in case you haven't. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.